Hey, Nancy, are you there? I was just wanting to check up on you and make sure that everything was going good. How are you doing? Physically, I mean.
Wait, what? I'm confused. Why are you even sending me a message like this? I mean, I'm fine, but still.
Well, I just wanted to ask if there have been any signs of you being pregnant yet or not. You don't feel queasy or nauseous or anything like that at all?
I'm really sorry to tell you, Oscar, but now I don't really feel any of those things. I feel basically the exact same way that I always do, if you really want to know.
Oh, I see. Then I guess that must mean you're not actually pregnant then, right? Which also must mean that the fertility treatment isn't going all that well either, right? Do you even remember how long it's been since we started taking you to that clinic to start this whole treatment in the first place?
I think it's already been about a year since I first started seeing a doctor there.
Well, you want to know how I know it's been a whole year? Because of all the money we've spent on that useless place. I knew that the whole thing reeked of being a scam.
I really am sorry about this, Oscar. I don't really know what else to say to you at this point.
Well, I'm not asking you to apologize or anything like that. I mean, sure, we have a problem, but it's not your fault. After all, you can't help being born into a defective body like yours, right?
But, I mean, you just said it's my body causing the problem, so how is that not my fault?
I just really don't think that there's any need to blame yourself when it comes to all of this. If you do that, then all you'll do will be to get sad, and then that'll bring down the whole mood back at home. In fact, when you get that way, it really does get pretty annoying having to be at home with you.
I really am so about everything. I don't have any kind of excuses I can offer or anything like that. But I guess your mom's idea that I go and try to see a doctor about this didn't work so well, right? Of course, she never meant to suggest that to hurt us or anything, so we probably shouldn't mention anything. After all, I know that at the end of it all, your mom only wanted a couple of grandchildren from us is all.
Yes, you're right about that. After all, I was an only child, and I know that my mom always wishes that she had more kids, so I'm sure she's eager to have grandchildren now.
I know, but I also know that your mom has been so patient with me and has been nice enough not to put any pressure on us.
I know, but that's because putting pressure on you wouldn't solve the problem now, would it? I know that this is bothering my mom as well, but, well, maybe we should just give this up.
No, don't say that, please. Let me just keep getting the treatment for just a little while longer. It's got to work. I've heard that it really takes 2 or 3 years of doing this before most patients start to see results.
I see. So it would take that long before we could even have a kid then? Well, I guess I'll have to think about it.
Nancy, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that I heard the big news and I am just so excited for the two of you.
Oh, hey, Yolanda. I'm sorry, but I don't think I know what the big news is that you're talking about.
Oh, come on. Are you really going to make me type it all out? I am talking about the fact that you're pregnant. And this means that I'm finally going to be a grandmother. I know that this journey really hasn't been easy on your body at all, so please just let me know if there's anything I can do for you. I promise that I'll be right there in a heartbeat to help you out.
Wait a second. You heard that I was pregnant? Yolanda, I really don't know how to break it to you, but I'm not pregnant. Are you sure that you didn't hear this news about someone else instead?
Wait, what? What are you talking about? Of course I don't have the wrong person. I was told by Oscar that you were pregnant. Why would he tell me that if it weren't true?
Hold on just a moment. You're telling me that it was actually Oscar who gave you this news?
But of course, he told me that I was the first person to be hearing about the big news and that he was so excited.
Yolanda, you know that for the past year I've actually been receiving medical treatment for my infertility, right? But I think you should know that despite already a year having passed, I'm still not pregnant. Are you sure that Oscar wasn't talking about the wives of one of his friends or something like that?
Well, if he was talking about someone else's kid, he was certainly making it sound like this was his own kid and he was talking about. He told me that I wouldn't need to worry about becoming a grandmother anymore and that it was just a matter of time before I met my grandchild. But now you're telling me that none of that was actually true at all.
I just have no idea why in the world Oscar would tell you something like that. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all if you're telling me that you're really not pregnant at all. But maybe I was just misunderstanding what Oscar was trying to tell me.
Well, maybe I should try talking to him a little bit about this and see what the deal is.
Nancy, I'm very terribly sorry to ask, but are you alright?
What do you mean, am I alright? Why wouldn't I be alright?
I really don't want to cause any kind of drama between the two of you, and I really am sure that I just misunderstood what I was being told. But anyways, just please know that you can always reach out to me for anything, okay, dear?
Yeah, of course. I'm really sorry that you got so excited over this.
Oh, that really is okay. It's just like nothing has changed since before I got the call from my son. I'm sorry for me jumping into conclusion about all of this.
Hey, Oscar, are you there? I just want to know, why in the world did you lie to your mom and tell her I was pregnant? Your mom texted me about how excited she was to finally be a grandma, and it made me feel horrible. Why would you go and say something like that to her? What's the matter with you?
But I wasn't lying to my mom at all, actually. The truth is that I am going to have a kid, and that's all that I told her.
Then you're just wrong about that, because I'm not pregnant, so how are you having a kid?
You really just don't get it, do you? Of course it's not going to be your kid. You can't even get pregnant in the first place.
But then, what do you mean? Why did you say that you were having a kid then? Just whose kid were you even talking about in the first place?
Well, obviously, that would be the child of my second wife. You'll always be my number one girl, though, so don't ever fret about that. Although now that I think about it, giving me a kid might just be enough to have my number two wife take your spot as number one.
Seriously? What is the matter with you? Number one and number two wife? Are you telling me that you went out and got a second woman pregnant?
Well, I had no idea how long it was going to be before you were ever going to get pregnant, you know? So as a kind of insurance policy, I went out and got another girlfriend. And let me tell you that it really didn't take all that long before she was pregnant.
Please tell me that this is some sort of horrible, cruel joke that you're playing on me right now. I mean, I just can't believe that you cheated on me like this. How could you betray me?
Well, you should know that this is really all your fault. I mean, you were taking way too long to get pregnant, and I don't have all day, you know. The fact of the matter is that neither of us are getting any younger, and I wasn't about to wait around for nothing.
But I already told you that it takes time and for the treatment to really take effect. I mean, I thought you were supporting me through all this. I just don't understand how you could turn around and do something like this to me.
And I thought I told you that those treatments were just a giant money trap, and I wasn't interested in paying for them anymore. In fact, you know what? I think that you ought to pay me back for all of those treatments of yours that I've paid for up till now. Do you have any idea how much you've cost me?
But you told me that this wasn't my fault and that I shouldn't blame myself for any of this. Now you're telling me that you actually did think that this was my fault this whole time? And your solution to do that is just to get another girl pregnant and just go jump to being with her now?
Of course! Now that I've gotten her pregnant, there's nothing more I want to do than throw you out now. Sure, you had a pretty face, but you were completely useless in every other way. I know that I never, ever should have married you, and I should have gotten with Erica in the first place.
Wait, what? Are you telling me that the woman that you got pregnant is Erica? Don't tell me that when you say Erica, you mean that Erica?
That's right. I know exactly the one you're thinking of, and yes, it is that Erica, if you must know.
So then, you mean to tell me that you cheated on me by sleeping with one of my friends?
You know, you really have been just so oblivious to her and I seeing each other. I admit that I was the one who made the first move, but she was all too eager to meet me as well.
I don't even know what to think right now. How could the two of you do this to me?
Well, it's the truth. Although if you really want to know, it sounds to me like Erica has wanted me for a long, long time. I guess she must know that I come from money and wants to live an easy life. And so that's why I'm gonna get rid of you and make her my new wife instead. So there.
I really just can't even believe that this is happening right now. I just don't understand how the two people who I probably trusted more than anyone else in the whole world could do this to me. I mean, Erica should know how much I love you. She heard me talk about you all the time.
Well, I don't really feel like interfering in whatever talk it is that the two of you are gonna need to have. But I'll just give you my 2 cents and say that I don't think Erica ever considered you a friend.
No, that can't be right. Of course we were friends. This can't be happening right now.
Look, I'm not joking or lying or anything like that at all. You really need to wake up and accept reality. And the reality of right now is that we need to get divorced and you need to move out. I need this house empty so that I can live in it with Erica and our kid, you understand?
So you're just gonna kick me out of our home? But where am I even supposed to go?
How the heck should I know anything about that? I mean, after all, you're just a housewife who's never ever had to work a real job in her whole life. Not to mention the fact that both your parents have passed away as well, so there really isn't even a home for you to go run back to.
And even knowing all of that, you're still going to just throw me out of the house like this?
Huh. Well, considering that you're just simply incapable of being able to take care of yourself, what if you didn't move out and you just stayed in the house as our maid?
This has got to be some kind of joke, right? I mean, do you really think that I would ever want to stay under the same roof as the two people who backstabbed me?
Well, if you don't like that idea, then you know exactly where the door is, don't ya? But I can't speak for what's gonna happen to you next. But then again, I don't really care. So just hurry up, pack your bags, and get lost already.
You're just horrible. Do you know that? You and Erica! I can't believe the two of you! You both went behind my backs and betrayed me, and now you're just going to cast me out like this.
Oh, yeah, go ahead and cry about it. That's gonna solve the issue for sure. Oh, wait, that's right. Nobody is coming to help you at all. So why don't you just run away and never come back, and I can finally live with a wife who can give me children, and my mom grandchildren.
I'm never ever going to forgive you all for this. You're going to pay for this.
Hey, Nancy, are you there? I was just curious about where it is that you've been staying these past few days. Don't tell me that you've already been reduced to living in a cardboard box and begging for spare change on a street corner.
You really are a horribly rude man. Do you know that, Oscar? But if you must know, I'm living in a perfectly fine house.
Oh, really? You mean that you managed to find a house with an opening that you could live in? Or is it just some condemned old building that you're squatting in?
No, it's nothing like that at all. It's a perfectly regular functioning house that is really quite spacious, if I do say so myself.
Well, are you there in the house with anyone, or are you just living alone? Because if you're in a house like that, then it sounds to me like it's only because someone pitied you. So tell me, did you find a man and woo him into buying a house for you? Do you really work that fast?
If you really must know, I'm not living with a man at all. But the person who gave me the house was in fact a woman, and she doesn't need it anymore. She's a very kind woman who has made a room for me in her home. I couldn't be more grateful.
Wait a second, you're telling me that you found some old bat who pitied you enough that she's letting you stay with her?
They're very kind. You don't know what you're talking about. They arranged a room for me and told me that I could live with them for as long as I need to. Although I have to say that being in this house has been just like a dream. It's got all I could want and more.
Well, I take it that whoever this woman is, then she's probably pretty rich then, is that right? Just who is this person anyways?
Well, actually, she had a rich husband who died a few years ago, and she got quite a large inheritance from that. The house itself is quite old, but she completely renovated it about 5 years ago, so the interior is just lovely. There's even a courtyard with a fountain. It's amazing. It's like a real mansion.
But wait a second, now that you say all of this, that sounds just like my mom's home.
And the thing about this woman's husband was that he made his fortune on the stock market, so he had quite a bit saved up. But now this kind, sweet woman just lives all by herself.
Okay, hold on a second. You're talking about my mom's house, aren't you? Are you actually staying with her? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, it isn't like I broke in and claimed a room for myself or anything like that. It was actually your mom who invited me here in the first place, if you want to know.
But that doesn't make any sense at all. Why would my mom want to invite you into her home?
Well, after you and Erica threw me out of my old house, I got a call from your mom.
My mom called you after I threw you out of the house so that I could live with Erica and not you? But what did she want to talk about?
Well, she was a bit worried about me, so she wanted to reach out and check in on me. And when she found out that I didn't have any place to go and lived at, she offered to fly me out to her place.
Hold on a second. You mean to tell me that my mom offered to fly you all the way out to her house from here? Are you kidding me?
I know that it was a long ways away from all that I used to, but I didn't have many other options. After all, I had lost the people closest to me in my life, and I didn't see any reason to keep my life here.
But Why would my mom be doing all of this for you? I just don't get it at all.
I would be more than happy to explain what's going on for you then, son. You see, I'm letting Nancy stay here at my house as long as she needs to get back on her feet. This is really the least that I can do for the poor girl after all that you've put her through.
Wait a second. Is that you, Mom?
That's right, it's me, your mother, and I have to say that I am just so let down in you. How could you treat a woman as sweet and kind as Nancy like this? I mean, as if cheating on her wasn't bad enough, you have to cast her out of the house like that?
But well, she wasn't able to have any kids. She was totally useless to me, to us. I poured so much money into her fertility treatments and it got us nowhere. You wanted grandchildren, didn't ya?
Of course I want grandchildren, but I didn't want you to treat your wife like this. And I didn't want you to cheat on her with her best friend either.
Well, I figured that if Nancy couldn't do what wives are supposed to, then it was up to me to find a woman that could do all that. I thought that you'd be happy about all of this, Mom.
I have no idea what part of this you thought that I would be happy about. But I want nothing to do with you or the little Harriet you're with.
I don't get it. What's wrong with Erica? She's a fine girl. You don't even know her well enough to be saying things like that.
I don't care what you have to say for either of yourselves. The moment that I learned what you two had done to Nancy, I decided to make a very important decision. From now on, you are no son of mine, and the only real child I have now is Nancy.
What are you talking about, Mom? Are you really telling me that you're going to choose Nancy over your own son?
I told you already that I don't have a so. Besides, I can really empathize with Nancy after all. I wasn't able to have children either.
Wait, really? This is the first that I'm hearing about all of this.
Well, it's true, and until I actually got pregnant, I was told all kinds of horrible things. That's why I never ever wanted to put any kind of pressure on Nancy to make her feel bad of not having children. I didn't want her to go through what I did.
But don't you get that there's no point in being so nice to her anymore? I mean, Nancy and I are divorced now. She's not even my wife.
You know, I just never in a million years thought that you would be the kind of guy to abandon his wife so quickly like this.
But well, what are you suggesting then? That I should have just waited with Nancy, not knowing if she was ever actually going to be able to have kids or not?
You're supposed to stay with Nancy because she's your wife, and you've ought to have married her for life. There was never any need for you to go running around like this behind her back. I still just don't understand how you could do something so underhanded and dirty. I really don't have anything else to say to you about this.
Please, Mom, I just know that once you actually meet your grandchild that you'll change your mind about all of this. I'll bring Erica over once she's had a moment to rest after giving birth.
Look, Oscar, your mom already said that she didn't want anything to do with you or Erica, so why do you think she would want to come over? Why can't you just leave us alone already?
Nancy, please, you have to explain yourself. I don't get why my mom is doing this.
She just explained to you herself. She said that she felt bad for the way that you were treating me. She swooped in to protect me, and for that I am very, very grateful to her.
But how did you even get her to care this much about you? It doesn't make any sense at all.
I didn't do anything to get your mom to care for me, thank you very much. But your mom is just a very kind person with a very big heart, and that's why she let me into her home. I suppose if you're looking for someone to blame, though, you can start with yourself since she felt so bad for what you put me through.
Oh, just shut up and get out of my mom's house already. You don't belong there.
As tempting as that is, I don't think that's what your mom wants. So anyways, if we've got nothing more to talk about, then I think I'll end the conversation here. Have a nice life! This was the first time since my parents had died that I finally felt like I had something over a mother in my life again. She had always been so kind and sweet and welcoming to me, and now I finally realize why. A few days after our last conversation, Oscar showed up to his mom's house with Erica and demanded to Yolanda, who refused and demanded that leave her property. They had flown all the way to see her, and she wasn't even going to show her face. I know that Yolanda is getting old and is thinking about how to split her estate, but I told her over and over again that she already done more than enough for me, and that I couldn't possibly ask for more. I don't really know what's going to happen in the future, but I am just so grateful that I've been given a second chance by one of the people I expected least. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.